Meghan Markle's long-awaited meeting with King Charles at Highgrove was expected to mark the beginning of a fresh chapter for the royal family. Instead, the visit reportedly ended far sooner than anyone anticipated, leaving more questions than answers. Hopes for reconciliation quickly gave way to speculation about what truly happened behind closed doors. So, did this reunion bring the family closer together, or drive them even further apart?
Markle felt humiliated on Prince Harry's most recent UK trip, and that the trip turned into a nightmare, forcing Markle and her children to return home to California earlier than they had hoped.
For months, rumors surrounded whether Prince Harry and Meghan Markle would ever make another meaningful visit to the United Kingdom as a family. Questions about security arrangements, strained family ties, and years of public disagreements led many people to believe such a meeting was unlikely.
Nullifies her claims, Harry's claims that they can't possibly return to the United Kingdom without royal security because the press won't leave them alone.
Then reports emerged suggesting that Meghan had traveled to Britain with the children while Harry prepared for commitments connected to the Invictus Games. Almost immediately, attention shifted toward one question: could this finally be the beginning of a genuine reconciliation with King Charles? According to various reports, the king welcomed the opportunity to spend time with his grandchildren after such a long period apart. Family observers noted that this was more than a routine visit because it represented a rare chance for 3 generations to be together despite years of public tension.
This is the first time that the king has actually met his granddaughter and grandson from Prince Harry's side of the family since the late Queen's Platinum Jubilee all the way back in June 2022. And if you were to ask me on Monday afternoon whether I thought this meeting would take place, I would have told you absolutely no chance.
Expectations quickly grew that the meeting might signal a fresh start for relationships that had appeared deeply fractured. However, sources claimed the atmosphere inside Highgrove was far more restrained than many people had imagined. Instead of an emotional reunion filled with heartfelt conversations, the gathering reportedly followed a carefully planned schedule. Every detail was said to reflect the royal household's preference for structure, privacy, and clear boundaries.
Reported that Markle's frustrations came from the couple not receiving taxpayer-funded security and not being allowed to stay at Buckingham Palace.
Those reports suggested that while everyone remained polite, the meeting focused on maintaining stability rather than creating dramatic moments. Some commentators argued that this approach was hardly surprising. After years of interviews, documentaries, and Harry's memoir, trust within the family had reportedly become a sensitive issue. As a result, palace officials were believed to be determined that any discussions would take place under carefully managed circumstances. Observers also pointed out that King Charles occupies 2 demanding roles at the same time. He is both a father hoping to preserve family relationships and the monarch responsible for protecting the institution he represents.
This to the UK, that there was a bit of will they, won't they? Harry goes by himself, and then suddenly Meghan Markle with the kids in they trot as well. But there have been some reports that the family reunion that they had with the King and the Queen may have not gone as planned for Meghan. There are some suggestions that it probably wasn't warm and fuzzy. I can't imagine why.
Those responsibilities may explain why every reported step surrounding the meeting appeared measured instead of spontaneous. Outside the estate, speculation continued to grow. Television panels, newspaper columnists, and royal commentators debated every rumor, trying to determine whether the visit marked a turning point or simply another brief chapter in an ongoing family story. Without official confirmation about what was discussed, much of the conversation depended on unnamed sources and public interpretation. Even so, one thing became clear. The reported meeting had once again placed the royal family's complicated relationships firmly in the international spotlight.
For the most part, he was rejected. And the nightmare wasn't just the trip. It was discovering that the privilege of royalty doesn't automatically survive after you quit your job.
As additional reports surfaced, attention quickly shifted from the fact that the meeting happened to how it reportedly unfolded. One detail attracted particular interest: the length of the visit. Commentators suggested that the gathering lasted for less than an hour, leading many royal watchers to question whether meaningful progress could realistically be achieved in such a limited amount of time. While the exact timeline remains unconfirmed, the reported duration became one of the biggest talking points surrounding the entire visit.
Meghan is furious because she hasn't done everything she wanted. When they knew they were going to come to the UK and London, she sent a list of what she wanted done for her at Buckingham Palace. Can you believe that? But they didn't go to a palace. They went to a home, and she didn't get what she wanted.
Another subject widely discussed involved the apparent lack of public symbolism. No official photographs were released, no joint appearance followed, and neither Buckingham Palace nor the Sussexes announced any major breakthrough afterward. For many observers, those absences spoke almost as loudly as any official statement might have. In the modern media landscape, images often become powerful symbols of unity, and without them, speculation naturally continued.
On a personal note, Grant, I'm happy that the King was able to spend time with his grandchildren. But do you think the Sussexes will be disappointed that they did not get a photograph of this meeting, given that it would enhance their brand?
Royal experts offered differing interpretations. Some argued that avoiding publicity was the most sensible decision because rebuilding trust requires private conversations rather than carefully staged photographs. Others believed that even a single image could have reassured the public that meaningful progress had been made. Instead, the silence allowed countless theories to spread across television programs, newspapers, podcasts, and social media platforms. Reports also suggested that broader family dynamics remained impossible to ignore. The continuing distance between Prince Harry and Prince William has been discussed for years, while Harry's previous public comments about members of the royal family have reportedly complicated efforts to restore confidence. According to several commentators, these long-standing issues mean that reconciliation cannot depend on one meeting alone, regardless of how positive the conversation may have been.
The Sussexes, with their children, were able to go to Highgrove. They flew into the country. They go to Highgrove, perhaps other parts of the UK as well, and then they go back home. Does it make a mockery of their demands for 24/7 royal security, given that that was not provided?
Meanwhile, Meghan's role continued to generate significant discussion. Supporters argued that she deserved an opportunity to rebuild relationships without constant criticism, while critics questioned whether genuine trust could return after years of public disagreements. Those opposing viewpoints highlighted how divided public opinion remains whenever the Sussexes are involved. Despite the differing reactions, most analysts agreed on one important point. If reconciliation is ever achieved, it will likely require patience rather than dramatic gestures.
Sped Prince Harry, Meghan Markle and the two children to see their grandfather. We're not quite sure how long it lasted. Some people are saying an hour, some are saying more. The fallout from it has been we're all sitting waiting for it to be leaked. Nothing so far. Apparently William was appalled. The following day, Harry looked like the cat that got the cream, because you and I both know that the Sussex brand's dead now, isn't it? Anywhere in the world, unless they can actually prove to have some link still with the very family they spend their entire life slagging off.
Years of disagreement cannot disappear overnight, and expectations of an immediate transformation may have been unrealistic from the beginning. Instead, this reported meeting may simply represent another step in a much longer process whose outcome remains uncertain for everyone involved today.
She wanted the King's embrace, and if she got that seal of approval, that good housekeeping seal of approval, she would be able to monetize that. She would be able to use that to her advantage, and the palace was very smart on this one.
Beyond the immediate family story, many commentators also considered what these developments could mean for Prince Harry's future public role, particularly regarding the Invictus Games. Since launching the event, Harry has remained closely associated with its mission of supporting wounded and injured service personnel. The competition continues to receive international recognition, yet questions persist about whether ongoing family tensions could influence future royal involvement.
William was very happy, and I think the Queen was very happy, but I'll tell you why I think it's clever, and I thought about this overnight, because I don't know much else to do, because I don't sleep. His son has been emotionally blackmailing him and wants to deal and titles before the king passes. That's me being very straight and very honest with everybody, because there isn't a chance in hell that William will ever thaw. That's my opinion. So the king was under that sort of pressure, didn't want to be criticised for not seeing his grandchildren.
Some analysts believe that senior members of the royal family may continue approaching Harry-related events with caution. From their perspective, every public appearance involving the Sussexes attracts enormous media attention, often shifting the focus away from the intended purpose of charitable initiatives. Because of that, palace officials may prefer limiting opportunities that could generate additional controversy rather than positive headlines. Others disagree with that assessment.
She didn't exactly get what she wants, and she certainly didn't win. A lot of us were frightened that Meghan would be able to manipulate the king, but I think in this instance, nothing has changed. They met for an hour and a half, they had tea, they talked about stuff that had no big relevance, small talk. There's no one better than the royal family for making chit-chat. If ever you've been around the royals, they say nothing. It's like cotton candy. They just talk and they don't say anything. And so he can sit there for an hour and a half and say absolutely nothing.
They argue that charitable work should remain separate from family disagreements and believe the Invictus Games deserve recognition regardless of personal relationships within the monarchy. Supporters of this view hope that future events will emphasize veterans and competitors instead of continuing speculation surrounding royal family dynamics. Regardless of where public opinion falls, one reality remains consistent.
She didn't exactly get what she wants, and she certainly didn't win. A lot of us were frightened that Meghan would be able to manipulate the king, but I think in this instance, nothing has changed. They met for an hour and a half, they had tea, they talked about stuff that had no big relevance, small talk. There's no one better than the royal family for making chit-chat. If ever you've been around the royals, they say nothing. It's like cotton candy. They just talk and they don't say anything. And so he can sit there for an hour and a half and say absolutely nothing.
It's an art form.
Interest in Harry, Meghan, and the royal family shows little sign of fading. Every reported meeting, public appearance, or official statement quickly becomes international news, attracting millions of readers and viewers eager to understand what might happen next.
Press. He would love to have a relationship with these grandchildren. He doesn't. They've Skyped, they've made some phone calls, but this wasn't what they wanted. They would love to be able to fix this on a family level, Meghan, but that's what the problem is here. Harry and Meghan are not interested in fixing the family. They want a professional relationship. It's about the money. It's about the association to royalty. It's about being close to power.
Without direct confirmation from everyone involved, many details surrounding the reported Highgrove meeting remain based on claims from unnamed sources rather than verified public accounts. That uncertainty has allowed multiple interpretations to develop, with different commentators reaching very different conclusions about the significance of the visit.
And the king to have sorted out their relationship, because you would expect the king to go to something like the opening of the Invictus Games next year. It would be standard, almost normal royal protocol.
What seems undeniable, however, is that expectations surrounding the reunion were exceptionally high. Many hoped it would deliver a clear indication that long-standing divisions were finally beginning to heal. Instead, the reported outcome left supporters, critics, and neutral observers asking many of the same questions they had before the meeting took place.
She desperately wanted a photograph. We know the world we live in. We know the world of social media. We want to see a picture of the king, of Meghan, of the children, of Harry, of everybody smiling. The palace said absolutely not. This is not a state visit. This is not even an official visit. This is a family visit. And so there's no photograph.
Whether this visit eventually proves to be the first step toward rebuilding family relationships or simply another brief moment in a continuing royal saga remains impossible to know at present. For now, the story continues to evolve, and the world will undoubtedly keep watching for the next chapter in one of the most closely followed family dramas of modern times. In the end, the biggest question is still unanswered. Will Prince Harry and Meghan ever rebuild lasting trust with King Charles and the rest of the royal family, or has that opportunity already slipped away? Share your opinion in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more royal updates.